from exponential form to radical form. Okay, we're going to go from exponential form to radical form. So this first example has 6n in parentheses being raised to the 4/3 power. So this entire expression here gets the exponent of the 4th power. Okay, so we've got the cube root. There are two ways you can write it. You can write it like this, okay, and this is how they were written in the previous example, or you can write it like this. You just have to make sure that you put parentheses around the 6n. Now, 6 raised to the 4th is kind of a big number. What is it? 196. So I doubt it, but you may see it like this. Okay, this is also equivalent. If you apply the 4th power to the 6, that's what it would look like. Okay, so all three of those forms right there are equivalent to each other. Okay, the difference in B is that there are not parentheses around the 5v. Okay, only the v right here has the power of the 3/2. So the 5 has to be in front of the square root of v cubed. Okay, power is the number on top, so v is cubed, root is the number on the bottom, it's the square root. We don't need to put the 2 there. Okay, so the 5 is not under the square root here. Okay, let's look at example C. Again, 10a is in parentheses. So the first thing we need to handle here is to get rid of the negative exponent. Move it to the denominator to get rid of the negative exponent. And then we can write it in radical form. Personally, I prefer it like this because most people, if they try and put that 5th power under the radical, they forget to put parentheses. So it's a lot easier if you put it outside of the radical. I mean, technically you don't even need the parentheses as long as it's clear. That's why I always put I call it a tail on my square roots and different roots, so that it's clear that the power of 5 is outside of the radical there. I still prefer parentheses somewhere, but technically you don't have to have any. Okay, and then example D, again, be careful. There's no parentheses around this, so really only the x has that exponent. So the 11 is going to stay in the numerator when we move the x to the 2/3 to the denominator to get rid of the negative exponent. And then writing it in radical form, cube root of x squared. No parentheses are necessary with this one. Okay, simple enough, right? Questions about the details are the biggest thing here. You just got to watch out for those details. Okay, so here's some practice, 2 practice problems for this.